Hello and welcome back to Horoscope TV. I am honestly just vibrating with energy for what we're looking at today. We're doing something a little bit different, a little more specialized.
Sure.
We usually take that big wide-angle lens, looking at the global trends.
The general astrological weather?
Exactly, the weather. But today, we are zooming all the way in.
Right down to a specific slice of the population. And honestly, even if you don't fall into this particular slice of the
I
zodiac,
definitely know one.
you definitely know one. You probably work for one, you might be married to one, or you were raised by one. We are talking about Capricorn.
Specifically, the forecast for Capricorn in February of 2026. And I have to say, looking at the data you pulled, this isn't your typical monthly horoscope.
No, not at all.
This isn't, you might lose your keys on Tuesday or expect a nice email on Friday. This looks heavier. This looks structural.
It is so dense. This isn't just an update for the month. For Capricorn, this is, and I don't use this term lightly, a decade-defining shift.
That's a big statement.
It is. If you are a Capricorn, or if you care about one, the architecture of that life is effectively being gutted and remodeled, and it all starts this month.
Wow.
We have the ruling planet changing signs, which is, a massive deal on its own.
Huge.
Then we have a defining solar eclipse in the money house. And just for good measure, the universe throws in a Mercury retrograde at the end. It's like they decided to compress 3 years of plot development into 28 days.
I saw the chart and I literally said out loud, wait, all of this happens in 4 weeks.
All of it.
It feels like a season finale and a season premiere happening at the exact same time.
That is the perfect way to describe it. We are closing a massive chapter and opening a brand new one before the ink is even dry on the last page.
So, okay, our mission today is to unpack all of that density. We're not just going to list dates and planets.
No.
We're going to analyze this Saturn shift, what you're calling the financial reset,
Yeah.
and all of the relationship tensions that come with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Want to explain why this is happening, geometrically in the sky, but more importantly, give you the toolkit, the actual strategies to navigate it.
To get through the remodel without losing your mind.
That's the goal. The headline here, if you remember nothing else, is that we are moving from a phase of intense mental pressure to a phase of foundational building.
I like that.
We're moving from the head to the home.
From the head to the home. Okay, let's dive in there. Let's start with the big one. Section 1, the great shift. Saturn enters Aries.
This is the headline event. This is the main story of the month and really the next couple of years for you. On February 14th, 2026, Saturn leaves the sign of Pisces and enters Aries.
Now, for anyone who isn't a Capricorn, Saturn is just another planet out there.
Right. It's the one with the rings. But for a Capricorn, Saturn is everything. Saturn is your ruler.
It's the boss planet. Every sign has one.
Exactly. Saturn is the taskmaster. It's the principal. It's the planet of restriction, structure, responsibility, karma, time, all the fun stuff.
All the heavy stuff.
All the heavy stuff. And for a Capricorn, that is your core identity. So where Saturn goes, you go. Your focus goes. Your energy goes.
And for the last 2 years or so, Saturn has been touring through Pisces.
It has.
So let's talk about what that has actually felt like on the ground for Capricorns. Because Pisces it's a very different energy. It's water. It's kind of
Pisces is mutable water. It's dreamy. It's spiritual. It's emotional. It's boundless. It's the ocean. Now, imagine taking Saturn, the planet of concrete walls, rules, and hard reality, and dropping it into the middle of that ocean.
It sinks, or at the very least, it struggles to stay afloat.
It struggles. For a Capricorn, Saturn has been in their third house. Now, the third house is the house of communication, of mental processes, of writing, of speaking, of your immediate environment.
So you've had the planet of concrete rules trying to operate in the foggy ocean of the mind.
Yes. And that sounds incredibly frustrating.
Utterly. I can just feel the friction in that description.
It has been. So if you're a Capricorn listening, think back over the last 2 years. You've likely felt a certain heaviness in your interactions, a weight on your mind. Maybe writing has been harder than usual.
Or networking.
Oh, networking has probably felt like pulling teeth. There's been this pressure on the mind, a feeling of being burdened by worry or just unable to articulate your professional ideas with your usual clarity and precision.
You know the idea is good, but getting it out is the problem.
Yes. It's like trying to run a marathon in a swimming pool.
The resistance is just too high.
The resistance is incredibly high. You know you're capable, you know what you want to say, but the environment, the astrological weather, hasn't supported your usual efficiency. It feels like you've been driving with the mental parking brake on.
Okay, So now, on February 14th,
To Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day of all days, that break finally releases.
It releases.
Yeah.
Saturn moves out of that watery, foggy, confusing mental sector, and it steps into Aries.
And Aries is fire.
Aries is cardinal fire. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It is the spark, the warrior, the initiator. It's pure, raw, unadulterated forward momentum.
So the first thing you're going to feel is just relief.
Yeah.
The fog lifts.
That's the first thing. The mental pressure just dissipates. It's like a cloud clearing. You might find your wit returning, your ability to write and speak becoming fluid again. That sort of writer's block energy is gone.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But I have to ask.
Yeah.
Because my astrological brain is already going there, isn't there a conflict in that pairing too?
Yeah.
Saturn is slow, methodical, cautious. Aries is impulsive, fast, reckless.
Oh, absolutely.
Do they even get along?
That is the fascinating friction of this next multi-year phase. You've hit on the core tension. You have the old man, which is one of Saturn's archetypes, entering the house of the infant warrior, which is Aries.
So does the old man have to babysit the warrior?
Or the old man has to learn how to fight. Or, perhaps more accurately for Capricorn, the warrior has to learn discipline. And this is all happening in a very specific part of your life.
Yeah.
This energy is entering your fourth house.
The fourth house. Okay,
Yeah.
so home, family, roots, the foundation of your life.
Yes. The fourth house is the very bottom of the chart. Astrologers call it the Imam Coeli, the lowest point of the heavens. It is the bedrock of your entire existence. It's your private life.
So when the planet of responsibility enters the house of home,
It initiates a multi-year, not multi-week, but multi-year focus on your domestic life. This isn't a fleeting transit where you decide to paint the living room. This is a brand new era.
so what does responsibility in the home actually look like under this Aries influence? Are we talking about like just doing more chores or something?
It's so much deeper than chores. Saturn demands structure. It wants to build things that last. Aries demands action. It wants to initiate.
So you're not just thinking about it, you're doing it.
You are doing it. Now, practically speaking, this often manifests as taking on significant new responsibilities regarding family or property. The most common one we see is when people decide to buy a house.
Right. A huge commitment, a huge structure. Very Saturn.
A huge debt. A very Saturn. But because it's in Aries, the sign of the pioneer, maybe it's not just buying a house.
Maybe it's building one from scratch.
Exactly. Aries is the trailblazer. So it could be buying a piece of land and building from the ground up, or a gut renovation of an old place. It's an active, even aggressive approach to the home. You aren't just nesting, you are fortifying.
You're building a base of operations, a headquarters,
Yes, but we have to be honest, there is a heavier side to Saturn in the fourth house as well.
of course. Saturn always brings weight.
The fourth house also rules our parents, specifically the hidden parent or the end of life. So when Saturn transits here, it often signals a changing of the guard. The Capricorn might find themselves taking on a new level of responsibility for a parent.
Elder care.
Elder care often comes up during this transit. The child, in a way, becomes the parent, the hierarchy flips, and you become the responsible one.
The structural support for the family.
Precisely. Or, on the flip side of that coin, it could mean starting a family of your own, becoming the parent figure yourself for the first time. The overarching theme is anchor.
That's a good word for it.
Capricorns are usually out in the world, climbing the mountain of their career. That's the 10th house at the top of the chart. But now the universe is dragging them all the way down to the 4th house at the bottom and saying, your career is fine, but is your foundation solid? Is your home base secure enough to support your ambition?
Wow. That is a really interesting pivot. It's like the universe is saying you can't build a skyscraper on a swamp. You have to fix the foundation first.
That is the perfect analogy. You are securing your roots. If your home life has been chaotic, if your living situation has felt unstable or temporary, you simply cannot sustain the external success you want. Saturn in Aries in the 4th house is going to force you to address that head on.
I just can't get over the irony of the date again. February 14, Valentine's Day.
It is deeply ironic, isn't it?
It's the day that's all about romance and fluff and chocolates. And for Capricorn, your ruling planet shifts and says, okay, playtime is over. Let's talk about mortgages, duty, and elder care.
It shifts the focus from ephemeral romance to long-term duty almost immediately. While everyone else is out at a candlelit dinner, the Capricorn soul is suddenly pivoting toward, where am I going to live for the next 10 years?
Yeah.
Or how do I make sure my family is safe and secure?
It grounds everything.
It grounds the romance into something very, very tangible.
So if you're a Capricorn listening and you feel a sudden inexplicable urge to check real estate listings or call your mom on Valentine's Day.
That's just Saturn knocking on the door of your fourth house.
Don't ignore it.
Don't fight it. This is where your growth is for the next few years.
Okay, so that's the long-term background noise that starts this month. But we have another massive immediate event. Section 2, the financial reset. The solar eclipse in Aquarius.
Yes. On February 17, just 3 days after the Saturn shift.
It's a 1-2 punch. No time to breathe.
It really is. We have a solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. Now, for Capricorn, Aquarius rules the second house. And the second house is the house of your money, your material possessions, your income, and your personal values.
I want to pause on the concept of an eclipse for a second, because we hear about new moons and full moons all the time.
Yeah.
How is a solar eclipse different? Is it just a super new moon?
That's a great question. Think of a new moon as turning the page of a book. You start a new chapter. It happens every single month. It's a natural, predictable progression.
Okay.
An eclipse. An eclipse is when the universe slams the book shut, shakes it up, and it falls open to a completely different random page. Or maybe you just pick up a different book entirely.
So it's a discontinuity, a glitch in the matrix.
It's a fated reboot. It's an intervention. Eclipses tend to eclipse out things that are stagnant or no longer serving you, and eclipse in new, unexpected trajectories. They accelerate timelines dramatically.
That's what's in the money house.
In the money house. This signals a massive new beginning for your finances, a total reset.
So what are the practical implications here? Are we talking about winning a lottery or, losing your wallet?
Eclipses can be volatile, so it can go either way, but because this is a solar eclipse, which is like a new moon, the energy is geared toward new beginnings. It's much more likely to open a door than to close one.
Okay, so a new door for money.
This could manifest as a sudden, out-of-the-blue opportunity for income, discovering a revenue stream you hadn't even considered before. But remember, the sign it's in is critical. It's in Aquarius.
Right, the sign of the future. Technology, groups, innovation, the unconventional.
Exactly. So this isn't necessarily an eclipse that says, I'm going to get a standard cost of living raise at my job. This eclipse says, I'm going to realize that my standard corporate job is a dinosaur, and I need to be making money in a more futuristic, independent way.
So it's a change in how you earn money.
A complete change. We see people getting into tech or freelance consulting, starting online businesses, or even getting into digital assets during transits like this. It's about innovation in your income.
You mentioned values, too. The second house isn't just cash, is it?
Yeah.
It's what we value.
Precisely. And that, I think, is the deeper meaning here. Yes, it's about the numbers in your bank account, but it is so much more about your self-worth. It's asking you, what is my time worth? What skills do I have that I'm not monetizing? What do I truly value in life?
And the Aquarian flavor would mean maybe valuing freedom over security for the first time.
That's a huge one for Capricorn. Maybe you realize you value freedom, Aquarius, over the traditional security, Capricorn, of a steady paycheck for the first time in your life. That's a profound shift.
Let's connect the dots here, because these two events are only 3 days apart. We have Saturn moving into the fourth house, building a home, securing roots. And now we have an eclipse in the money house. These have to be related.
They are intimately, deeply related. Think about it. Building a home requires resources. Taking care of a parent requires resources. Starting a family requires a ton of resources. The universe is pushing you toward this massive new responsibility at home. And so it also has to provide the means. You need the fuel, which is the money, to build the foundation, which is the home.
So the eclipse might provide the means to satisfy the new Saturn requirement.
That is the cosmic design. It's the financial reset that allows the domestic reset to actually happen. One funds the other.
Okay, but you flag some serious risks here in the data. It's not all just checks in the mail and easy money. There's a rogue element involved.
There is, and his name is Uranus.
Of course.
Uranus, the planet of shock and unpredictability, goes direct in your speculative sector on February 4th. This is your fifth house, which rules gambling, stocks, risk-taking, and romance.
So the planet of chaos wakes up in the gambling part of your chart.
Exactly. When Uranus wakes up there is a temptation, a very strong one.
A temptation to gamble, to take a shortcut.
Yes, a temptation to say, okay, I need to buy this house, I have this new financial pressure, so I'm going to bet it all on this one volatile stock, or I'm going to take my savings to Vegas.
Oof. And with the eclipse energy, which is already unstable and electric, that sounds like a dangerous combination.
It is extremely risky, and it gets even more specific and more dangerous toward the end of the month. On February 27, Mars squares Uranus.
Square, that's the 90-degree angle. That means tension, conflict, a clash.
It's high tension. Imagine two cars approaching an intersection at 90 degrees. Both of them are doing 80 miles an hour, and neither one has a stop sign.
A crash is basically imminent.
Right. So Mars is the planet of action and desire. It says, I want it now. Uranus is the planet of rebellion and shark. It says, let's take a crazy risk. And this is all happening within your money dynamic.
So the temptation will be to take that eclipse energy, that desire for a new financial life, and try to shortcut it with a reckless move.
Precisely.
Can you paint me a picture? What does that look like for our listener on, say, February 27th?
Here's a very plausible scenario. You see something you want. Maybe it's a luxury item that feels like it represents your new financial status. Maybe it's a risky investment that promises a quick return. And you have this sudden, burning, overwhelming desire to impulse buy it.
You just have to have it.
You swipe the card without thinking. You click buy now without doing the research, and then 2 days later, when the dust settles, you are filled with deep regret. Mars creates the urge, Uranus creates the unexpected, shocking action.
So the advice is, sit on your hands.
Yeah.
Hide your credit cards.
The advice is, use the powerful reset button energy of the solar eclipse for strategy, not for reckless spending. Be a Capricorn. Be calculated. Make a plan. Do not let that Mars-Uranus square bait you into blowing your budget right when you need to be saving for that new Saturn foundation.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And just to throw one more wrench in the works, we also have a Mercury retrograde coming in at the end of the month to complicate the money stuff, right?
We do. Mercury goes retrograde on February 26th. This means on a very practical level, you need to be extra vigilant about your bank statements and financial documents.
Looking for errors.
Errors are very likely. Double charges, fraud, miscalculations, payments that don't go through. Don't just glance at the balance on your banking app. Actually read the line items. Check your receipts.
Good advice. Okay, let's move to section 3. Career. We touched on this with the mental block from Saturn lifting, but let's go a little deeper. The headline here is Relief and Disruptions.
So, as we mentioned, Saturn leaves your communications sector on February 14th. This is the relief part of the headline.
A collective sigh of relief from Capricorns everywhere.
A huge one. If you work in a field that involves writing, speaking, sales, marketing, teaching, any job where your words are your currency, you are going to feel like a massive weight has been lifted off your chest.
I have to imagine confidence plays a huge role here.
It's almost all about confidence. When Saturn is suppressing your voice, you second-guess everything you say or write. Is this idea good enough? Am I going to sound stupid in this meeting? When Saturn leaves, that inner critic finally quiets down.
So the confidence to express your professional ideas returns.
It comes roaring back. This is a prime time to pitch those ideas that were previously stalled. If you had a project 6 months ago that went nowhere, dust it off and try again after the 14th. The environment is completely different.
Okay, I see here in the notes you've identified a golden window. I love a golden window. Tell me about February 16th.
This is a beautiful, beautiful aspect. On February 16th, Mercury trines Jupiter.
And a trine is good. That's the harmonious angle.
A trine is 120 degrees. It's the most harmonious, easy-flowing aspect in astrology. It represents luck and opportunity just falling into your lap. Mercury is commerce and communication. Jupiter is luck, expansion, and big money. When they form a trine, barriers just seem to disappear.
So this is the day to sign the papers, to ask for the thing.
This is the day. It is a fantastic aspect for any kind of business negotiation. If you need to sign a contract, hold a crucial meeting with your boss, or, linking back to the eclipse, ask for that raise. Do it on or around February 16th. The universe is practically rolling out the red carpet for you.
But the urgency is real here, right? Because that window closes pretty fast.
It slams shut. You need to act before February 26th.
Because that's when Mercury, the planet of communication, goes retrograde.
Exactly. Once we hit February 26th, Mercury goes retrograde in your communication sector. So we go from a golden window to a very foggy, confusing window almost overnight.
So if I wait until February 28th to ask for that raise,
You might get a maybe, or the paperwork gets lost in HR, or your boss completely misunderstands what you're asking for.
Yeah.
Delays, confusion, revised contracts. The energy shifts from crystal clarity to a muddled mess.
and we have that Mars-Uranus square again on the 27th impacting work. How does that show up?
Yes. So Mars is in your 6th house of daily routines and work. Uranus is in your 5th house of creativity and speculation. When they square off, it can manifest as a sudden, unexpected snag in a project.
Like what?
Technology failing is a big one here. The server crashes 5 minutes before your big presentation. The file corrupts. The Wi-Fi goes down during the most important Zoom call of the quarter.
Total nightmare fuel.
It is. So the strategy is simple. Have a backup plan, save your work in multiple places, and do not leave important deliverables for the very last days of the month. If it's due on the 28th, get it done on the 24th.
Be early. That's very Capricorn advice anyway, so hopefully that resonates.
It should be in their nature.
All right, let's pivot to something a little spicier. Section 4. Love in the time of responsibility.
Love is complicated this month, but in a really fascinating, growth-oriented way.
We start with a spark, right? We mentioned Uranus going direct in the romance sector on February 4th.
Yes. The fifth house again. Romance, pleasure, dating, creativity, fun. Uranus is the planet of the unexpected, the lightning bolt. When it wakes up after being retrograde, the vibe is electric. It's all about breaking your usual type.
So if a Capricorn listener usually dates, say, other ambitious C-suite executives,
They might suddenly find themselves overwhelmingly attracted to a musician or a world traveler or someone completely outside their usual social and economic circle.
it's the classic bad boy or manic pixie dream girl transit.
Exactly. If your dating life has been boring or completely stalled, it wakes up now. You might meet someone out of the blue in a totally unexpected way, a sudden realization of desire. It's fun, exciting, liberating energy.
There's always a but in astrology, isn't there?
There is a massive but, and his name is Saturn.
The cosmic buzzkill.
Well, the realist, the good one up in the room. Remember, on February 14th, Valentine's Day, Saturn enters your home and family sector. So we have this fundamental clash. Uranus in the fifth house says, let's go on a spontaneous road trip with this new exciting person.
And Saturn in the 4th house says,
Saturn says, you can't. You have to fix the leaking roof, and your mom needs a ride to her doctor's appointment on Saturday.
the ultimate tug of war between romantic, spontaneous desires and your family obligations.
That is the defining conflict of the month for your love life. It's a constant negotiation. You might literally have to cancel a date to handle a household emergency. Or, on a deeper level, there could be friction where your family disapproves of this new, unexpected partner that Uranus brought into your life.
Mom, Dad, meet my new brave friend. He's a trapeze artist and lives in a van.
And Saturn in the fourth house looks at your family's faces and says, we are not amused. This is not a stable foundation.
So how do you manage this? How do you have both?
Boundaries. You need to compartmentalize and communicate clearly. You can have the fun, but you need to make sure your duties are covered so they don't ambush you and cause resentment.
There's some help for that, right?
The good news is Venus, the planet of charm and diplomacy, moves into your communication sector starting February 10th. This is your secret weapon. It helps you talk your way through these conflicts with grace.
So you can use those Venusian words. I love you. I really want to see you, but I have to do this one thing for my family first. How about tomorrow?
Exactly. Communication is your bridge between duty and desire. But, and here's the big flashing warning sign, watch out for the end of the month.
That Mars-Uranus square again. It seems to mess up everything.
Yes, February 27th. That, plus Mercury going retrograde the day before, is a recipe for absolute disaster if you try to have the talk.
Where is this relationship going? What are we? That talk.
Do not ask those questions on or around February 27th.
Why not? What happens?
Because the Mars-Uranus square creates irritation, arguments, and a sudden overwhelming desire to break free from any perceived restriction. And Mercury retrograde creates misunderstanding and miscommunication.
So you could say one thing and they hear something completely different.
You might say, I want more stability in our connection. And they might hear, I want to trap you and control you forever. It is the absolute worst timing for relationship clarity.
So if you're feeling angsty about the relationship at the end of the month,
write it in a journal. Talk to a friend. But do not talk to your partner about it. Wait for March. Just wait. Let the cosmic storm pass.
that is very clear, actionable advice. Okay, let's look at the physical vessel through all this stress. Section 5, health and wellness.
Health this month is directly one-to-one tied to your stress levels. We cannot separate them.
And the stress is coming from Saturn in the 4th house. That pressure about home and family.
Yes. When Saturn, the planet of structure and restriction, is in the fourth house of your foundation, we often see stress manifesting in the body in a very specific way.
Where?
The stomach or the digestive system, these are the classic anxiety spots. It's that gut feeling of worry about security, about family, about your home. It can also affect the skeletal structure, knees, teeth, bones, which are ruled by Saturn.
So the root cause isn't necessarily what you ate for lunch. It's what you're worrying about at night.
Precisely. And so the remedy isn't just taking an antacid, it's environmental. The data strongly suggests that decluttering your physical home is one of the best things you can do for your health this month.
So cleaning the house actually cleanses the mind and the body.
Yes. If your home environment is chaotic and messy, your mind will feel chaotic and your stomach will be in knots. Creating a calm, orderly sanctuary is a genuine health requirement for you right now, not just a luxury.
That's a really actionable tip. Clean your room, feel better. What about the eclipse? How does that impact health?
The solar eclipse on February 17th is in Aquarius. Aquarius rules the circulation and the ankles, but based on the angles involved this month, it can also put a focus on the throat and neck area.
The throat and neck. So maybe you watch out for straining your voice or getting a stiff neck from stress.
Exactly. And there's a nutritional aspect too. Remember, the eclipse is about values. This extends to how you value your body and what you put into it. You might have a sudden realization that you need to upgrade your fuel.
Switching from cheap coffee to organic, cutting out the junk food.
Exactly. It's part of that bigger financial and value reset. I am worth high-quality food. But I want you to watch out for February 20th. On that day, Saturn makes a conjunction with Neptune.
Saturn, reality. Neptune, fog, and dreams. What happens when they meet?
Draining, that is the word. When Saturn, structure, meets Neptune, dissolution, your energy levels can just bottom out. You might feel physically drained, like your battery won't hold a charge. This suggests a real need for fortification. Think iron, B vitamins, things that build you up.
And one more physical warning. We keep coming back to this Mars-Uranus square on February 27th. It sounds like a physical hazard, too.
It is a classic injury-prone aspect. Mars is in your 6th house of daily routines, your daily workout, your commute, your walk to the subway. Uranus is the planet of sudden accidents.
So twisting an ankle coming down the stairs?
Twisting an ankle because you were rushing, pulling a muscle at the gym because you didn't warm up properly, cutting yourself while chopping vegetables because your mind was somewhere else. It's the accident that comes from haste and distraction.
So on February 27th, maybe skip the parkour class.
Skip the extreme sports, walk slowly, pay attention, be mindful of where you put your feet.
Simple enough. Now, let's talk about the people around you. Who is going to help a Capricorn get through this intense month, and who is going to make it harder? Section 6, relationship dynamics.
Let's start with the good news. The best match for Capricorn in February 2026 is Virgo.
A fellow Earth sign. That makes sense. Very grounding.
It makes perfect sense. And it's about why now. Capricorn is facing this massive, overwhelming transition with the Saturn shift. You're moving the furniture of your entire life. You are carrying the weight of the world.
You need a cheerleader?
You don't need a cheerleader. You need a logistics manager. You need a project manager.
You need someone who says, don't worry, I already called the movers, I've color-coded all the boxes, and here's your protein shake because you forgot to eat.
That is pure Virgo love language. While Capricorn is looking at the big picture, I need to buy a house, Virgo is the one checking the inspection report for mold, organizing the packing list, and handling all the tiny critical details that Capricorn is too stressed to deal with.
They are the support staff you desperately need right now.
Exactly. And with Mercury about to go retrograde, Virgo's analytical mind helps decode the mixed signals and confusion. They offer consistency and practicality. In a month of shifting tides, Virgo is a solid rock.
Okay, so find a Virgo and hold on tight. Now for the flip side, who is the worst match?
Libra.
Oh boy, the cardinal clash. Why Libra specifically?
It comes down to the geometry again. We call it a cardinal clash or a T-square tension. Saturn is entering Aries. Aries is directly opposite Libra on the zodiac wheel.
So they're in opposition.
And your sign, Capricorn, is square to both of them. It forms a tense T in the sky. Everyone is at a 90-degree or 180-degree angle. That's all friction.
There's no easy flow there at all.
It's pure friction. But let's look at the psychology of it. Capricorn and Libra are both cardinal signs, which means they both like to lead. They're initiators. But they lead in completely opposite ways.
How so?
Capricorn leads by executive decree. We are doing this because it is necessary and efficient, function over form. Libra leads by committee, by diplomacy. Let's talk about how everyone feels about doing this. Let's make sure it's fair and balanced, form over function.
I can see the argument brewing already. It's February 20th. The Capricorn is stressed about the mortgage application. The Libra wants to have a long discussion about the aesthetics of the living room curtains.
And the Capricorn just snacks. The curtains do not matter if the roof is leaking. And the Libra feels attacked, hurt, and steamrolled because the Capricorn is being cold, dismissive, and utilitarian.
It's a fundamental clash between authority and diplomacy.
Exactly. With Saturn in warrior-like Aries squaring Libra, the Capricorn has absolutely zero patience for indecision or what they perceive as frivolousness. They are in crisis mode. Libra wants to find harmony. There's no harmony in a crisis.
So if you're with a Libra,
Be very, very patient. Or just agree to give each other some space this month. That might be the kindest thing you can do for the relationship.
space sounds good. Okay, let's get really specific. Section 7. The Capricorn Toolbox. I want dates, numbers, and colors to get through the month.
Let's equip you. First up, lucky dates.
Got my calendar.
First, February 4th. That's the day Uranus goes direct. It's a great day for a creative breakthrough or just breaking out of a rut.
Okay.
Next is February 12th. The moon will be in Capricorn that day. That's a confidence boost day. You'll feel more like yourself, more in control.
Good day for a big meeting, maybe.
A very good day. And finally, February 21st. Just a solid, stable day for getting important things done without drama.
Mark those down. What about lucky numbers?
We are looking at 4, 8, 10, 22, 35, and 51.
4 and 8. Those feel very structural, very Capricorn.
Very Saturnian. 4 is the number of the square, the foundation, the home, its stability. And 8 is the number of power, big business, and karma.
And the color of the month.
Slate gray.
That is the most Capricorn color I've ever heard in my life.
It is, isn't it? The hex code is hashtag 708090 for the digitally inclined, but there's a very specific reason for it. It represents stability, neutrality, and resilience.
It's not flashy.
Exactly. With the high volatile emotions of the eclipse and the intense pressure of the Saturn shift, you don't need bright red or neon yellow adding to the noise. You need a color that grounds you. Slate gray is the shield. It's armor.
I love that. Wear your armor. Finally, let's just reconfirm the Mercury Retrograde specifics so nobody gets caught off guard at the last minute.
Okay, it starts on February 26th. It takes place in Pisces, which, as we discussed, is your communication sector.
So the fogginess comes back to the mind.
The fogginess comes back. Expect mix-ups in texts, emails, and local travel. Your Uber might go to the wrong address. You might send a sensitive email to the wrong person. And again, deep breaths and patience are required with people who seem disorganized or aren't making sense.
So if the email doesn't go through, don't throw the computer across the room. Just check the address and resend it.
Exactly. Breathe. It's temporary.
All right, let's wrap this up. This has been, honestly, a lot to take in. It feels heavy, but incredibly important.
It is heavy, but it's the good kind of heavy. It's the weight of building something real, something that lasts. It's an investment.
So to recap the mission for any Capricorn listening, your main job is to secure the home base because Saturn is moving in for a long stay.
That's job one.
Your second job is to reset your financial strategy because the solar eclipse is opening a new, possibly unconventional door for you.
And be ready to walk through it.
And your third job is to be very, very careful with your words, your wallet, and your ankles at the end of the month.
That is the perfect summary. February 26th through the 28th, proceed with caution.
I have a final question for our listeners to take with them. We've talked so much about the home, Saturn moving into the 4th house.
Yes, the new center of gravity.
So if your home is your new center of gravity for the next few years, if that is where all your energy and focus is going, is your current environment worthy of the growth you are about to experience?
That is a profound question to sit with. Does your sanctuary actually support the person you are becoming, or is it holding you back?
Something to think about while you're decluttering this month.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for analyzing the stars with us today. This has been a really special look into the future on Horoscope TV.
It's always a pleasure.
If this analysis of Capricorn's future was helpful for you, please subscribe so you can get notified when the next episode is available. We'll see you in the stars.